Alright, got my driver issue fixed, hopefully. So, might as well do another death battle reaction. This time it's a character I know pretty much nothing about, and a character I'm somewhat familiar with. Tekken. Bleh, I'm more of a Virtua Fighter or Dead or Alive kind of guy, or just good old Street Fighter. Tekken, when I was a kid, I was wowed by it. I played it a little, mostly because I thought Nina Williams was smoking hot, but I don't know. I only played a couple. It's like I've got the original Tekken. I also have Tekken 4, but everyone says 2 and 3 are the best, but I don't know. The gameplay just, I don't know, as I got older, it didn't sit well with me. And then there's King of Fighters and the SNK Fighters, which I've never played any of them. But I got a good friend who does an SNK Fighter stream every Monday. He's going through the series, and in fact, convinced me to get this. This is my lone Japanese Saturn game, and I gotta give this a spin. I got a RAM card, should run. So I'm aware of who Geese Howard is, and how he's resistant to death by being thrown out windows and shit. So this should be interesting. I'm going for Geese, because even though I've never played any of the games he's in, I like watching my friends King of Fighters streams and shit. It's like, but Tekken, meh. Oh well, let's go into it. 3, 2, 1, skidoo. Ah. And I also skipped past that blue chew thing in the beginning because, yeah.
Heihachi Mishima, billionaire megalomaniac behind the king of the Iron Fist.
And Geese Howard, karate kingpin behind the King of Fighters.
These two ruthless businessmen are as talented at martial
Not
arts
to mention
As they are terrible at being dads. But whose
backstories for fighting games. Ugh. They're just so friggin' out there. I know nothing about Tekkens. Only a bit about King of Fighters. So the only fighting game backstory I really know about is Street Fighter.
GOJU-RYU is a multinational conglomerate so powerful it can field armies massive enough to conduct world wars. Its leader is
Because
the
of course it
enigmatic
can.
martial arts master Heihachi Mishima. His goal? World domination.
Because of course!
Male pattern baldness is like an extreme sport. He taught his super intelligent fair best friend karate, and if he doesn't like you, he'll strap you to a rocket ship and launch you into space. He's like a kung fu Wolverine Elon Musk.
Well, he sure is
That's
something
ridiculous,
all right.
even by fighting game standards. Glad I kind of steered clear of the series.
Heihachi didn't like how his dad, Jinpachi, who looks like the Charizard to his Charmeleon, was running the family business. So he locked him in a basement to die and get possessed by a demon.
Heihachi built the Mishima Zaibatsu into the largest military developer in the world. And believe it or not, he's also a family man with a wife and child.
Sucks he had to kill his new baby mama with his bare hands after she got possessed by a demon too. A different demon.
This was the Devil Gene, and it would prove to be Heihachi's greatest adversary for the rest of his life. Fearing his son Kazuya had inherited this gene and its terrifying demonic power, he did what any loving, supportive father would do.
Toss his bitch ass off a cliff. If he climbed back up, it meant he was a devil. If he didn't, that meant he was A-OK. Except for being dead.
Which is basically what medieval peasants did to witches. The Mishima are old-fashioned. Now truly alone, without love or family holding him back, Heihachi could focus on one thing: power.
And not just the kind that lets you finance a satellite in order to kick family members you don't like out of it, but the punchy...
Jesus Christ, he's got to think for offing family members in bizarre ways, doesn't he?
GOJU-RYU, also known as hard, soft style.
Oh, that's too easy, even for me, Wiz. GOJU-RYU combines hard striking kicks and punches with open hand circular techniques for grapples, takedowns, and throws.
Heihachi's fighting style is aggression personified, with such techniques as the dragon uppercut, slash punch combo, and demon scissors.
And if he really wanted to,
Ah,
he
old
could
school
impale you
PS1.
with one of his hair horns. Maybe.
Heihachi has even mastered the use of ki, or spirit energy. To
Because of
manifest
course, gotta go Dragon Ball
like
a
in
little.
his classic electric wind God Fist. His ki can even enhance his physicality to frankly absurd levels.
Like the time he caught a bullet in his mouth. I'd say that's crazy, but he did the same thing to a tomahawk before shattering it with his teeth. How much of that blade did he swallow? Dude must have gave his beehole braces.
Or the time he got dogpiled by a bunch of Russian androids called Jacks, which all self-destructed, annihilating the temple he was in.
Yeah, he got up a bit later, infuriated, I'm sure, by the world's audacity to declare him dead from such a paltry wound.
Other Jack models were strong enough to destroy a 6-mile-wide apocalyptic asteroid and survive being blasted by a satellite laser.
By taking a look at
I can already tell Geese has an uphill battle.
Packing around 1.6 megatons of TNT.
Untitled Geese ass-kicking incoming. Oh boy.
Boomstick!
Can't stop thinking about it, Wiz. Either end that's coming out of, it's not gonna be good.
Ugh. After decades of dominance, Heihachi finally hosted the King of Iron Fist tournament.
And who should show up to the fight but his son Kazuya for the salty runback? All grown up and definitely not dead by Cliff. Oh man, what I wouldn't give to beat the shit out of my dad and toss his ass off a cliff. Probably what Elon Musk's son will do after he finds out what his dad named him. That. Man, he and Heihachi are kinda similar. He launches rockets, he's super rich and weird, and I don't even want to think about Heihachi with a Twitter account.
Well, except for the whole part. Musk is just some pasty lazy.
I did Taekwondo, I did karate, Kyokushinkai.
Oh man, he's been Heihachi all along! And that means his son is Kazuya! Someone keep their eye on him in case he throws him off a cliff! But hey, Muskie, if you ever host a King of Iron Tesla tournament, give me a call.
After humiliating defeat, Heihachi returned to battle his son once again, and this time tossed him into a volcano. These people really have a fetish for this one particular kind of execution, especially considering it never works.
Beating his son ain't too shabby, considering Kaz is one of the strongest fighters in the entire world, even without the Devil Gene, which, surprise, turns him into a goddamn demon. He can fire laser beams fast enough to hit a satellite in a fraction of a second, and yes, this is the same satellite we keep bringing up.
Measuring how far Kazuya was from the satellite, his forehead laser would have to be moving at just over 1% the speed of light.
And the Hatchmeister was fast enough to intercept this same beam in order to save Kazuya's life from his evil devil self. Maybe he had a change of heart. Oh no, okay. Or I could be wrong. Not after that. Man, they really hate each other. Even Heihachi's grandson, Jin.
Wow, that big boss and Solid Snake had
Issues.
issues.
After living a life consumed by hatred,
Or Dracula and
desire for
Alucard, I
power,
mean, damn.
and that, Heihachi reunited with Kazuya for one last battle to the death, and shed a single tear at his son's complete transformation into a monster.
Oh, he did care. Maybe all of that crazy Bond villain bluster was just a facade for the heartbreak he suffered at destroying his own family and creating a cycle of violence, as so many fathers have before him. Dad.
He fought Kazuya as he lived.
I wonder if we're going to see more of this boomstick drama at the end of the episode.
No, whatever Yoshimitsu is, Heihachi fought his literal demons with nothing more than his stubborn, egomaniacal refusal to give up until he could stand no longer.
Those who live by the volcano die by the
Why
volcano.
am I always rooting for the guys who have clearly an uphill battle?
And when he does, he'll be
Hulk,
returned as always
Sailor
to the whole world
Galaxia,
of Tekken.
last time it was Lex Luthor. Ugh.
Welcome to the sun-drenched streets of
Oh,
South
scenes from
Town,
the old
USA.
Fatal Fury anime. You know, I need to
Should
see
you ever find
that.
yourself there on vacation,
Not to mention
you
play the
can
actual
know
games.
Our Connection Protection Agency will keep you safe from the clutches of the local mafia.
Until you realize the Howard Connection is the Mafia. Top-tier business model they got there.
And in control of both stands the legendary Geese Howard.
Okay, Wiz, that was all sounding pretty badass until you said his name was Geese. What kind of dork is named after a...
Ever play Untitled Goose Game? You don't fuck with the goose, okay?
Swan. His absentee dad may be an Austrian terrorist, but the only thing he's blowing up is his son's future.
After Geese's mother succumbed to an illness they were too poor to treat, 15-year-old Geese tracked his father down to kill him.
Before getting completely wrecked by his half-brother Krauser, who was 9 years old. Oof. Now the ultimate scrub lord, he's found the martial arts master Tung Fu Ru to gain ultimate power and take revenge.
Geese fights with a combination of the deep, strong stances and hard-hitting combos of karate, the quick, deadly blows of kickboxing, and his primary style, AIKI-JUTSU.
Translating to hard soft, which again, all too easy. AIKI-JUTSU is all about throws, counters, and locks. It focuses on using opponents' weight against them, kinda like its descendant Aikido. And you can't forget the shit-eating...
Okay, so Geese Howard's gonna have a bit of finesse to work with, okay.
But what Geese was really there to learn was hippopotamus.
Jesus. With Hakyoku Seiken, Geese can absorb life energy, or chi, from the earth itself and mold powerful energy blasts.
His Reppuken rockets across the ground like a buzzsaw, while Raging Storm is a massive fanged geyser that'll devastate anyone nearby.
He can imbue these attacks with lightning called down from the heavens.
Okay, looks like he can go the distance, but it's still clearly an uphill battle against the Tekken guy.
Wait just a goddamn second, Wiz. Did Geese just throw that poor man straight into the air and then patty cake his nuts on the way back down? That is pure evil.
Geese's master felt the same way, sensing his pupil's darker intentions. So instead of entrusting the dojo's most secret of scrolls to Geese, he gave them to his other student, Jeff.
God damn it, Jeff. I hate him as much as Geese does. Kind of name is Jeff. Jeff.
Infuriated, Geese left Tongue School to take over Southtown's
little
existing criminal
ad
empire
bar.
and install himself as the city's new crime lord.
Who, for some reason, demands to dress up in karate gi at all times.
Well, Geese's appreciation for Japanese martial arts extends to the culture as a whole. Music, architecture...
He's a weeb, like a buff otaku Vito Corleone. Who do you think his waifu is? Himself? Ooh, I probably would too.
Yeah, that's
I don't know, I
kind of
appreciate Geese's
creepy.
tenacity and business acumen. It reminds me of me. Inventing reality-bending weaponry for black markets around the globe has done my checkings account pretty well. Like my Cyber Goose.
Mecha Goose Howard? Oh, please, Wiz, I've seen your student loans from Mad Scientist U. It's a sideways 8 next to a smiling turd emoji. I hear they sell self-respect next to the dollar pizza place you like so much.
Despite being a badass crime lord, Geese was still plagued by inadequacy. So he took out his anger on the lamest person he knew, Jeff.
And he did it in front of his kids. I'm sure that'll turn out well in a decade or two. Wow, this guy has got to be the pettiest bitch in all of Southtown. Next to Jeff.
Oh, you think that's bad? How about when Geese had a son?
boy,
and
have I backed the wrong
mother in
horse.
poverty? And when that son asked for help paying for his mom's illness, Geese ignored him.
Wow, without a hint of irony. After successfully
Yeah, definitely backed the wrong
Southtown,
horse.
He's hosted the King of Fighters martial arts tournament in order to solidify his position as the strongest fighter around.
Which he basically was. Geese is powerful enough to obliterate entire swaths of forest with his chi and defeat the reality warping entity Verse, who could create a hurricane the size of a stadium.
Even Takuma, one of Geese's subordinates, was strong enough to redirect a blast from the Zero Cannon, a city-annihilating satellite laser.
Considering the laser was intended to eradicate Southtown, which is a fictional stand-in for real-life South Miami, the blast would have to have a yield of around 1.7 megatons.
And judging by how fast it reached the Earth's surface, it must have been moving at over 2% the speed of light.
Okay, faster than the light speed
Seemingly
feet in the...
unbeatable, Geese was finally confronted
Tekken
by
side,
Bogart,
okay.
the son of the man he murdered years before. You know, Jeff.
Now that man has great taste in hats. After one of the fiercest battles ever witnessed, Terry defeated Geese and
Yeah, that was
threw
the
him
original
from the
Fatal
top of
Fury,
Geese
right?
Tower to his
Yeah.
death, until he came back, so Terry threw him off it again. You can't keep a good goose down.
Whether it be manipulating future events from the shadows or demonstrating his magnificent power in front of the whole world, Geese's tenacity will always strive to crown him the king of fighters.
Stay down, maggot.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data.
Old school PS1, Tekken, and classic 2D SNK. Nice.
Check out Adam and Eve. Hey, you know what's awesome?
Ugh.
Free stuff. You know what's
Okay,
even
okay,
better
I
than
skipped
free
past the
stuff?
Bluetooth thing in the beginning, but now we gotta deal with shit like this. Really?
Now you have my attention.
Well, you're in luck. This episode of Death
I mean, if
Battle
we
is
were looking
brought
at
to you
Nina
by
Williams or
Adam.
Ma, yeah, okay, I could go, but
You can select almost
after
any
seeing
one item
Heihachi,
if
whatever
you
his name is in the
off.
Speedo, please, no, just no.
After you enter the code battle at checkout, the folks at Adam and Eve will see you have great taste and they'll load you up with free stuff. They'll send you 10
I just
tantalizing
noticed
free
this is
gifts.
cracked.
More.
There's a sexy
At the back
item
of
for
this
him, a
jewel
special gift
case.
for her, and a third
Meh.
item for both of you, plus 6 free spicy movies and free shipping.
Wow, you weren't kidding when you said free stuff, huh?
A deal this good is no joke.
And if you like
Really,
the sound of that,
really
you
do
can
need
go
to give this a spin in the
adamandeve.com
Saturn
and
once
use the
I'm...
code BATTLE.
Remember, that's to get almost any one item 50%.
It'll be a project
off
after I'm
and
done
free
filming
That's
this.
BATTLE, BATTLE, BATTLE.
Can I stop talking about absolutely nothing now? Can we get to the
But right
fight?
now, it's time for a death battle!
Thank you!
Welcome to the final match of the international collaboration between the Iron Fist and
Are they gonna have 3D models? I mean, they obviously got... Nah, looks like it's gonna be 2D.
The Mishima Zaibatsu and the Howard Connection. Oh, flavor in disregard of antitrust laws, but okay, let's go to our fighters. Heihachi Mishima. And his opponent,
The cultural appropriator!
愚かなやつめ犬覚悟はできてるか三島 You're not now, big Geese Let's focus! Predictableいたじゃろ鼻がへし折れるまで叩き込んでくれるわ I will stand my hands with your blood, old man. Revoken! Double revoken!
Ooh. You said already, predictable! Okay, that comes as no surprise. Oh, well, he feels the same way. And Geese does seem to have a bit more finesse, but something tells me things are going to turn around real fast. Yep. Gotcha. Ooh. He's gonna throw him into the volcano, isn't he, in the end? Yeah, saw that coming.
You cannot escape from death!
Yeah, I kind of figured. That habit of backing the wrong horse in these death battles, you know. Oh well, time for the post-fight analysis. See why I made a dumb choice.
KO! Better break out the soy sauce for Geese, because this goose was cooked.
Both fighters had the brutal tenacity and martial arts mastery to push each other to the limit, but Heihachi just had the greater limits to push.
Sorry, Wiz, this one was obvious. One of them throws people off cliffs, the other has people throw him off cliffs. Kind of a no-duh.
It was not a no duh. In fact, Geese's wider variety of chi techniques were able to keep Heihachi at a distance, and his ability to draw chi from the earth meant he could spam them for as long as he wanted.
But Heihachi has had plenty of experience with projectile spammers like Kazuya, whose lasers are fast enough to reach outer space in seconds. He'd have no trouble getting in close.
Heihachi's decades of combat training over Geese also allowed him to learn and adapt to his AIKI-JUTSU. He's even defeated Aikido masters like Nina Williams before, so it wasn't entirely new to him.
Ultimately, it came down to who was stronger, faster, and tougher. Both scaled to characters like Jack and Takuma, who survived satellite lasers nearly equal to each other.
But both feats were performed pretty casually by weaker characters, so what could they do at their best? For Geese, let's look at his fight with Verse, who created that hurricane.
By measuring its size compared to the stadium to get the mass of the clouds, making a storm that big would take about 1.8 gigatons of TNT, about 1,000 times more powerful than the Zero Cannon that could destroy Southtown.
But we're not done. One single jack unit was able to destroy a 6-mile-wide asteroid heading toward Earth. Estimating its volume and density, the energy it would take to violently fragment it is nearly 8 gigatons of TNT, over 4 times more powerful than Versus Hurricane.
And Heihachi can tear through jacks like nothing, which is crazy because that satellite laser it reacted to was moving at about 4% the speed of light, twice as fast as the Zero Cannon and Geese's best.
Geese was a clever, ruthless opponent, but Heihachi's power, experience, and sheer bull-headed stubbornness allowed him to walk away the victor.
Man, this fight was so intense, it almost made me shit my pants.
The winner is Heihachi Mishima.
Okay, predictable, I
Thanks for
suppose.
watching. Stay tuned. We'll be jumping into the next matchup next week. But you can
All
always
right,
get the Death
what
Battle
do we
right
got?
now by clicking one of those boxes right over there, and by downloading the battle music linked in the description.
All right. I have no idea who they are. Oh well. Anyway, people keep saying that I need to try like Tekken 2 and 3. Maybe I should. They're still affordable, and like some other stuff on PS1. And I need to give this a spin. Perhaps I shall very soon.